2, 1.
Hello guys, it's Ronald Finn here. Yes. See, that's gonna sound so much better when I add in like a little fake crowd behind me, like doing it as well. So it's like I've got a hype crowd behind me, like there's loads of people sitting in my room with me, real crowded like, and kind of cheering me on to do the podcast, like yes. So I'm gonna do it again. Sorry, before I start, I'm gonna do it again with a noise clip so you can kind of see the difference. So yes. See, it sounds so much better already. I'm sorry, I'm being really weird. Hiya guys, if this is the first time you're listening to me, hi, nice to meet you. Come join in the madness. If it's not, hello, thanks for coming back. Tell your friends. Why haven't you told a friend? I'm so angry. I'm so angry at you. I'm not angry, I'm hungry. That's real bad. You hate it when I'm hungry. Before I carry on with my freaking madness. This is the hashtag knowyourself podcast, which I created, which is a way for me to get to know myself and in turn hopefully get other people to know themselves, and then we just get to know each other. That's kind of it. So I do a little thing where I start a timer, and hopefully I'm going to go on for half an hour about the topic at hand this week. Before I go into the topic, this week's sponsor is the outdoors, the cheapest form of escapism from the indoors, and Netflix binge watching and chronic masturbation. Now, in fact, before I go off on anything else, the whole thing's not going to be about masturbation, which it was just a little bit, so everyone calm down, okay, for a second, yeah? Awesome. So, timer starts, and we're going to start the topic now. So, as you can see, the title of this piece is A Man with a Penis. Oh, what does that mean, Aaron? It's so confusing. Oh, no. So I wanted to talk about men with penises. No, I wanted to talk about manlyisms and what makes manliness a thing in the world nowadays. So you also have to forgive me because it's been 3 weeks since I did the last podcast, and since that day, I've been writing this, and it's taken me a bloody long time to get through this. You will hear me flicking through the pages of my notes because it's just taken me so long to write everything down. I was going to write everything down in bullet points, but it turned out my mind didn't want to do that and my hand didn't want to do that, so I wrote out everything, so please give me some time. But I've got a load of notes, and hopefully it's going to be a good episode, so let's rock on. So, I've always had a problem with my masculinity. I've never been one of the strong boys, or I've never strived to sleep with every ginger person with geek glasses on, even though it'd be lovely too. But I've never strived to do that because it's not a thing I want to do. And I've always had had a liking for acting and performing, so it kind of put me in situations where, yes, I would dress up as a woman and I would find no problem with it, but other boys would find problems with it. And I still to this day have no problem with it. I'll rock a dress if I have to. If I have to, I'll rock a goddamn dress. And I think the main thing about masculinity that affects me, and still to this day, is sports. And this is what mainly got me bullied when I was in secondary school and in actually primary school as well. At break time, I'd prefer to sit with my friends and have a chat instead of running round after a ball all day.
Ray, he's kicked the ball. Now the ball's over there. That man has it now. That's an interesting development. Maybe he'll kick the ball. He has indeed, and apparently that deserves a round of applause.
Football, in my personal opinion, is the link to pure manliness, because growing up, and still to this day, every man, child and animal with a penis bloody loves or lives or die by the sport, and it's a large section of men. Now, before I go on, I know there's, before anyone says anything, I know there's a large female base of fans for football teams and clubs and stuff like that, but I feel like it's more prominent in my personal opinion, I feel like it's more prominent in other sports, so say for instance rugby and tennis. And also, I'm trying to make it seem like I'm the only boy who doesn't like it, so it's a little bit that I'm doing. Please let me have this, guys. Goddamn, stop questioning everything I do. Okay, awesome, thanks. So back to my relationship with football. I will stand tall and I will stand up in front of everyone and say, I hate football. I think that the amount of money they get, bullshit. Their little injuries where they run off crying because they got a little cut on their arm, bullshit. Their handsome faces and their beautiful wives and cute kids and luxurious houses and multi-million-pound ad campaigns and their constant bodyguard protection and their agents who cover up their little secrets. And you know what, guys? Do you know what I did this week? I did my own little deep dive. I did my own little research, my little Google research, and I found out some things about the national treasure that we hold so high up in the sky. Let me get his name. David Robert Joseph Beckham, or should I say Dana Rosa Joan Beckham. That's right, y'all. Dana Beckham. David Beckham is a woman. Now, before anyone says anything, before anyone says, oh, but didn't he do that pants campaign with H&M or some shit like that? Yeah. It's because he does a little thing they like to call in the industry stuff and stick. Yeah, that's right. He pushes his boobas up into his rib cage and sticks them there to make them look like pecs and gets a weird flower-shaped vase and puts it down his pants to make it look like a penis bulge. And then we go from there to talk about his wife, Victoria Beckham, or should I say, husband, Victor Beckham. That's right, again. She is a man and their robot children. That is even more correct. Their children are robots because obviously David couldn't get pregnant throughout his football career and Victor couldn't obviously have a child because he's a man, so they employed robots. And why do you think one of their children's name is Romeo? Doesn't Romeo sound a lot like robot? Huh? And hence why he's such a good child model, because his face is already perfect, because it was built this way. And then going back to Victor Beckham, a part of the Spice Girls. The Spice Girls. That's right, they're not even all girls. They're all men, except for Ginger Spice, hence why she left, and hence why I love gingers. My goodness, guys. My mind's been blown. Oh my gosh. But I've really got off topic and I need to get back to it. So I'm going to retract my previous statement. I don't hate football. It's just not something I'm really interested in. So I kind of switch off every time it comes on and any time I see anything about it. And I think it kind of, the incident that kind of holds dear to my heart or undearly to my heart is something that happened in secondary school and why I hate football, why I have such a strong passion against football, really. So in secondary school, in year 9, we had to start picking our GCSEs for the coming years. Now, if you don't know what GCSEs are, it's a nationwide test that everyone has to take to progress to the next stage of education. So there is SATs or SATs in America, GCSEs, A-levels, getting a degree, and then the test of life to see if you actually survive it all. I'm sure we will, guys. I'm sure we'll survive the test of life. But yeah, so it was the GCSE times, and obviously I did not pick PE as a GCSE because I didn't like to be taken away from a screen for too long, and I didn't like to actually stand up if I absolutely didn't need to. So I kind of cut that out. But we still had to take PE as it was acrylic. Oh my gosh, I can't say the word, guys. It's a thing that we had to do. It's a part of the subject matter nationwide. We still had to do it, but we just didn't get taught it. So instead of being taught anything new in PE, they would just throw a ball at us and go, "Go on, lads, get on the field, play some football." The teacher would stand in the corner, wanking over a men's fucking douchebag health magazine or some shit like that while we ran around on the field for no apparent reason and not being taught anything, so wasting an hour of our lives where I could have been sitting next to a screen or something like that. I don't hold bitter against it or anything like that. But anyway, this brings me to a teacher, a certain PE teacher, and I just hated him. And I already knew from the start that I was going to dislike him, because as he entered the room, on his first day, he had to teach us. He kicked open the changing room doors, exposing our unmature bodies, walked into the middle of the room and shouted, "Lays." I automatically knew he was trouble when he walked in. Shout out to Tay one time. But the situation stemmed a couple of weeks later, where it was one afternoon, a rainy afternoon on the field, and we were obviously playing football. Now, the thing that he would do was line us up in a line, because that's what you do, and he would throw a football at our face to kind of, he said it was to get us focused for the game, but I think he just kind of liked messing with us a little bit, and he'd throw the football in our face, and he'd make his way down the line. And then as you can tell, I'm a person who just does not want to get his weave wet and does not want to be out in the rain for no apparent reason. So I had a bit of a face on. So when he got to me and he was just about to throw the ball, he stopped for a minute and went, "Oh, what's the matter, little fella? Is there something wrong? Do you want me to kick the ball in your face? Now, it could possibly break your nose, but it gives you this nice floaty headed feeling, which is good in the field to make you a better player, and that's what all the boys want, yeah? To be better football players, yeah? yeah, lads, yeah. And I said, "No, sir, no, I don't want you to kick the ball in my face. I don't want you to throw the ball in my face. I don't actually want to be out here at all. Can we not go inside to the sports hall where it's not wet and raining and shit and whatnot? Can we not do that?" He took a couple of steps back with his ball in his hand, placed it down on the floor, opened up his tiny little mousy eyes, and went, "Oh, boys, you better gather round. It seems like Mr. Peters here doesn't want to get wet and play a game of footy on the field. Now, I think that playing football on a muddy field builds some character, you know? You guys running around with each other, kicking the ball, tackling each other, taking each other down, rolling around in the mud, laughing about it. Isn't it funny when you think about it?" Sir," another kid said, "isn't that another sport or something completely different altogether?" "Shut up, Billy Blue Balls, and listen. Now, does anyone else want to stay out and play a good game of footy in the rain?" Everyone put their hands up, looks around, and kind of starts murmuring and thinking, why is he asking us this? And then he says, "Good. Now, does anybody," aiming this at me, "want to go inside and play in the sports hall?" And I put my hand up, and at that time everyone puts their hands down and looks over at me. "Nah, boys, we can really see the difference between the men and the women." And it was that statement that made me feel worthless and weak and weird for just wanting something as simple as not to be wet or moist on a daily basis. Like, I just didn't want to be moist. It was a simple request. And the comment really hit my confidence, because I was already being bullied by all the rest of the boys at the time, but now I was being bullied by my teacher for not being manly. And as I stood in goal, hating my life and feeling like a moist homemade banana loaf fresh out the oven, I kind of felt worthless. Again, I felt worthless and like shit, because I've been called out by a teacher to the rest of my classmates, and that's not cool. And even now, thinking about it when I'm older, I start thinking, what made my teacher so manly? What made the boys around me so manly? And what made me so unmanly? And it brought me to this conclusion of making this podcast. Well, not the podcast, but this episode. So I've got a new segment. It's called Research Yourself. there's a little noise for it. So it's a kind of combination of research that I found, and also like the News Yourself segment that's normally here. So here we go. Let's go into it. So I did some kind of after I did my research on Dana Beckham and stuff like that, I did my research on some traits or some stereotypes of men and women, and it kind of gave me a long list of like things of like words to describe each person, each gender person. I'm starting to ramble a little bit. It started to give me words, and it put them into sections of men and women. So I kind of compiled a list of the words that I found. So for the feminine list, it said words like sensitive, warm, appreciative, lively, what other words? Non-aggressive, dependent, affected, affectionately, influenced, submissive, passive, easily hurt feelings, talkative, cries a lot, tactful, sensitive to others' feelings. And then in the men's section, it said words like dominant, emotionally stable, open to change, social, boldness, perfection, aggressive, independent, worldly, not at all talkative, tough, strong, analytical, blunt, and a whole load of other words. And when I was reading this list, I was like, well, I've seen these traits in the other sexes, and how can these words automatically go to these people? And that brought me to more research, going deeper in. So I researched the word strong, which featured in the men's section of the list, when I found the world's strongest woman called Katie Luton, hopefully I pronounced that right, who in 2013 was the United Strongman's Women World Champion winner, and has 7 times over won the strongest woman in her hometown, Finland. And again, that was something that was in the men's category, but a woman's done the strong thing. And then it brought me to the word sensitive to feelings, which was in the females category. Because in my degree, from my personal experiences and the people I surround myself with, myself and a lot of my male friends have a kind of understanding of people's emotional kind of needs and stuff like that. And we're very sensitive to those. And we know how to talk to certain people about certain situations, because everyone's emotionally different in different ways. And understanding their feelings and being sensitive to their feelings is something that's so important, and how we gonna thrive in our career. And again, that was in the female section, but it can be easily translated to the men's section. The word worldly, which was in the men's category, I found a woman called Helen, who's 33, who does a travel blog, and she travels and volunteers around the world, but she first started in Africa. At the end of her 20s, she quit her job and began an adventure around Africa. And from there, she's been to such places as Asia and North America and Europe and loads of other places. And she's met so many inspiring people that she wouldn't have met staying back home in Liverpool. And she's now kind of made a compilation of her travels via a blog, which she runs, called Helen in Wanderlust. And she's very worldly. She's very well travelled now, because she's been to so many places and met so many peoples. And it's just awesome. But again, that was in the men's section. And then again, easily influenced. There was a Huffington Post video that I found called How the Media Influences Teen Boys. And it's a 15-minute video that talks about words from a young age that kind of make men and boys see the world. So like, say for instance, a parent saying, put on your big boy pants, or be a big boy, don't cry, and stuff like that, how it affects a child as they grow up, and the images we see in the media that kind of make people really judge themselves. And I know there's been a lot of talk lately about how it happens to teen girls and women in the world, and how like especially celebrities are fighting back against those kind of things. But it also happens to men, and it was really interesting watching this video coming from a man's point of view, or it was a female presenter talking to 3 teen boys about their influences on life nowadays. And it was a really interesting video, but they were saying a lot of the time that they were easily influenced by the media, which was something that was in the female category. And the last one that I really researched into was independent. Now, we all know who is independent. It's Destiny's Child with the song Independent Women, made in 2000. The length of the song is 3 minutes 37, and it's a R&B/dance pop track. But on a serious note, from a young age, they the Destiny's Child group, even though they kept on changing with their main icon, who's everybody's queen, Beyonce, kind of brought them up and made them the big female stars of America in the early 2000s, and they did it all by themselves. And taking that joking aside and bringing it back down to real levels, there's so many women out there who are looking after children as single parents, and going to their jobs and looking after their children. There's always stories and movies and something going on, some story coming out about that, how a woman's managed to do this with their child and create a good career for herself, and not need the help of a man or a woman or anyone else. They can stand by themselves and be independent in what they're doing. And again, that was in the men's section. But then also, we can't forget that there's also single fathers out there who are doing the exact same thing, and we don't want to seclude them. And in any sense, that's still very important what they're doing. And it's important that they're both being independent, single parents, single mums, and single dads. And then going back over everything that I researched, deep dived into, there's things that are similar in each sense, and it's nice that there's female examples, but there's also male examples. And it made me think about this whole stereotype thing that I looked up. I even had to Google research the definition of the word stereotype, and it says a widely held but fixed oversimplification image of an idea or a particular type of person or thing. Now, in today's culture, we've thrown a lot of those stereotypes and ideals out the window to make space for people and give people a chance to be whoever they want to be. So I go back to my original question: what does being manly mean? And again, I did another definition kind of thing and looked into it, and it says the definition of manliness, it says the traditional male quality of being brave and strong. And there's that word strong again, but we've seen an incident where there's Katie, who's the world's strongest woman, and a man who's normally said to be strong, but especially nowadays that kind of means nothing. And realistically, bringing the question back to myself, in my opinion, I think being manly means nothing nowadays, because the line of kind of gender equality and stuff like that has been blurred so much. And again, like looking at these stereotypes, we can definitely see that all of these roles have been blurred and these lines have been blurred, and it's just awesome to see. And I don't think we need manliness or femininity anymore. Like, if that's weird to say, like, I think anyone can be anyone they want to be. Everyone's different in their own way, and that's what makes us all unique and awesome and great in our own ways. And it doesn't matter if you're manly, air quotes, or feminine. As long as you're being yourself and you're being genuine and you're being kind to others, what does it matter? So I think manliness means nothing nowadays, in my personal opinion. I'm not particularly manly, but I'm not particularly feminine. So what's the point? And that's it, guys. That's my 3 weeks of work done. Whew. But yeah, that's the most I've used my brain in a couple of years. Thanks for listening, guys. So this is the part of the podcast which I like to call random shit.
Let's hear you sing the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, to Cookie Monster.
So I'm going to keep in the topic of manliness, and I'm going to bring in one of the weirdest manly places and situations to be in. It's going to be a very, very short bit. It's going to last about a minute. I'm going to, as you know, I'm part of an improv group, and I'm going to improve my improv skills in one way, and also improve my voice skills in another way, and see if I can come up with just a little minute of dialogue between two men in a urinal. And I will call this Just Peeing Away the Time. And go. You alright, mate? Yeah, I'm alright, fella. You? Yeah, I'm great. Having a great time. This place is great, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, sure. If you don't mind, I'm trying to have a private moment. Like, you know, I'm trying to pee and kind of get my thoughts together. I've had a really long day and I'm just looking to relax. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know. Me and my girlfriend, we just broke up, so I mean, it's a bit crazy right now. And I've been crying a lot, so hence why I'm out of breath. And I've been running away from her house because she thought I was a stalker and she thought I was trying to steal her clothes. When I wasn't, I just wanted her left shoe to take with me to remember her by all the time. That sounds really emotional, mate. I mean, what you actually gonna do is, did you even get the left shoe? Oh no, I didn't get the left shoe in the end. I had to settle for the right, which I most probably won't keep. I'll most probably keep for about 5 weeks and I'll throw it away in the bin or something like that. I don't know. I'm just feeling really emotional, and I thought a pee would help. You know when pees help. You know when it leaves your bladder and it makes you kind of feel really light, and that's the feeling I'm looking for right now. Mate, it sounds like you're going through quite a hard time. Oh, no, it's fine, I'll be fine. Well, why, you said you were going through a hard time. Mate, I was just going to say that we lost the footy. It's real bad, you know. I think I need another pint. Do you know what I could do for another pint? Right, do you want to sit down for me and have a pint? Yeah, that would be great. I'll bring the right shoe. Scene. That's it. Done. That's it. So thank you guys. Thanks for listening to my random goings on and my random mind space. That was a nice little improv thing I just did there that I can just about remember already. So if you like me, guys, like my Facebook page. It's #KnowYourselfKnowYourself. Find me on Twitter. I'm under RonnieRonXD. Listen to my previous podcasts. Some of them are good, some of them are not. But find your good ones. Share it with your friends. And yeah, I kind of have a quote for this kind of thing, but I also realised that I've forgotten who said it, so I'm just going to take it as my own and kind of say it's my quote. So, the quote of the podcast is, "We are all different in our own ways. What's the point of being like someone else? They have not walked in your shoes, so don't try and walk in theirs." Thanks a lot, guys. Bye-bye.
3, 2, 1, and